Hey, how you doing, folks? I'm Terry Taylor, and I'm coming to you from the couch for episode 7 of the Terry Taylor Show. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about today. Well, first I'd like to start off by saying, I'm still sick. I'm not as sick as I was yesterday, but I forgot to mention yesterday, and I feel terrible, that I forgot to mention the loss of Kenny Baker, R2D2 himself. Very sad that we have lost him. He was 81 years old. Obviously, he's popular and most famous for being R2D2, but he had a very interesting life as well. He was a show business guy. He was a showman from like way back. His parents, both his mother and father, were artists and musicians, and they were of normal height. If you didn't know this already, obviously, Kenny Baker was a little guy. He was a little person, and which goes to say something that he lived to 81 years old, because usually that's a longer life expectancy for a little person. But yeah, he was approached on the street when he was a little kid and asked to join a theater troupe that was comprised mostly of little people. And from there, he joined the circus for a little while, and he learned how to ice skate and He took part in many ice skating shows, and this is still when he was a young guy. And then he had a penchant for comedy, and he started a comedy act with a couple of other British comedians and little people and whatnot. And from there, that's how he got cast to be R2D2, the famous R2D2 that we all love. But it's interesting to note that that wasn't his only film. He was in many films. He was in The Elephant Man. He was in The Time Bandits. He was in Willow. He was in Flash Gordon. He was in Amadeus. And he was in Labyrinth, which stars another one of my favorite deceased people of all time, who I'll do a show on later, David Bowie. He deserves his own show, and I'm going to get to that. Anyway, I just wanted to have a little recognition and a little thank you to Kenny Baker for bringing joy to so many people's lives. I've heard many stories of how wonderful of a guy he was, how sweet and funny. He would go to all the cons and make sure that he was there to meet all the fans and sign autographs and take photos. And he wanted to be part of it. And he wanted to be part of Star Wars Celebration of this that just passed. But his health was starting to fail, and he was, I think, confined to a wheelchair at that point. So it was not able to be. But he loved the fans, and there's so many stories of people that interacted with him throughout the years at different cons and festivals that just said that he was a lovely man, short on stature, big on heart, big on talent. So thank you, and may you rest peacefully wherever you are. All right, let's talk about some things. Let's talk about Rogue One dropping an international trailer yesterday. Of course, they dropped it just after I had posted yesterday's show. It showed a little bit more than it did than the U.S. trailer did. Not quite as extensive as The Force Awakens. Their international trailer showed much more. This just had a little extra dialogue, a little extra bit of footage, but it's interesting to note that the dialogue in the trailer explains how they found out about the Death Star. And we're going into spoiler territory here. So if you haven't seen the trailer yet, watch the trailer, then come back here and join the conversation. But they say that a signal was intercepted, a message was intercepted by Jyn Erso's father, who we know is played by Mads Mikkelsen. So that explains how his character plays into this whole story. I'm really interested to seeing how this plays out. Again, the trailer, it's fantastic. It looks unbelievable. The way they shot this on the Alexa 65, which is the camera they shot The Revenant in, it gives it such a rich, beautiful look to the film. It just looks beautiful. So yeah, I'm really excited. In case you can't tell, again, they gave us the shoehorned in Vader at the end, which is fine. They just showed us a little bit of him. I do think, though, that going forward in the next, as we get closer to it being released, we need to see a little more of Vader. He needs that, like, Chewie, we're home moment in the trailer. Not that we don't all know what he looks like already or who Darth Vader is, but, I mean, come on. You want to see him like that. I mean, I say that they... I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they hold out till the movie to show us any more of him. I wouldn't be surprised, but I would like to see... Just, I want him to have that moment, that Chewie we're home moment where you get the goosebumps all over, and you jumping up and down, grown men crying, and but I want that. But the trailer looks fantastic, and I'm really excited about this movie. All the rumors about the reshoots and whatnot, I don't think that they're... Well, from what we're seeing, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I don't think there's too much meddling going on. I don't think this is going to be a situation like a DC movie that you can tell has been completely tampered with by the movie studio. I don't think that's going to happen in this situation. I think the Disney property, I mean the Star Wars property, since Disney bought Lucasfilm, I think there's a lot of trust in Disney and they're very careful on how they treat this property because they know how much it means to millions and millions of people. I mean, Star Wars is like pop culture. So they're very careful, and I think that's where the reshoots come into play. But I think that it's just a little bit of course correction. Maybe it's a little too brutal here. Maybe it's a little too rough here. Make it more viable to more of a PG-13 audience. I don't think we're ever going to get an R-rated Star Wars film. I think the closest thing we'll ever get to that is if they happen to do like a Netflix show, which, I don't know, there's talk that they're going to do one with ABC. I mean, we'll see. If they do like The Bounty Hunters or something like that, that would be really cool if it was a lot grittier. But with Rogue One, I have no problem with it being PG-13. I think it's going to be great. Look, I love Star Wars. Straight up, I'm a Star Wars guy. Period. From as far back as I can remember, Star Wars was this huge thing in my life. So I'm going to see whatever Star Wars gives me. That's just the way it's going to be. Whether I like it all or not, we'll see. Obviously, the prequels are the prequels, and you can feel whatever you like about them. I think if you're a Star Wars fan, there's enough good material in there to draw away from, and there's enough story in there to draw away from. I just think George was trying to spearhead new digital technology and filming, and it looks a little cheesy, and he was trying to make it for a younger audience with the addition of Jar Jar Binks. And who's to say, if I was a little kid when I saw the prequels, I may like Jar Jar Binks. I know that there are kids that did at the time when they had come out. I guess it's all perspective. Of how old you were in reference to the original films and how old you were when they came out. So I was a little kid. Those movies meant the world to me. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. Rogue One looks great. I was going off on a tangent there. In other Star Wars news, there's talk that they've been talking about casting Lando for the young Han Solo standalone film, which is Han Solo being played by Alden Ehrenreich. So they're casting a female lead now, and they're narrowing it down to actresses who are not white, which is totally fine, but it led to the speculation of, is Sana Starros, otherwise known as Sana Solo, yes, I said that correctly, who was introduced in the Star Wars Marvel comic books as someone that Han Solo was married to, but it was without giving too many spoilers away from the comic book, they were married for a reason, to sort of do something, and so certain things could happen. So the reason being is because now that we have Forrest Whitaker, his character is known to be Saw Gerrera, who his character originated in the Clone Wars animated series. It's interesting to note that they could be borrowing from the different Star Wars lore now that Lucasfilm is owned by Disney and we're expanding the universe, and they've set an absolute canon of material that is the story. And then the other stuff, books and comics and other things that have come out through the decades, some of those fall into what they call Legends territory. So, like Knights of the Old Republic is not quite canon yet. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it becomes canon. But like the Tarkin book, I mean, I'm sorry, the Tarkin book is new canon. The like Lost Stars is new canon. Aftermath is new canon. There's a certain time frame that they have established that this is the canon of Star Wars, and obviously these new Marvel comics are canon. So are they going to borrow? Is the new lead, the female lead, going to be Sana Solo? It's interesting to speculate that. It depends. I mean, it really depends how they're going to play this. In the comics, it doesn't. It depends on what the age they're going to make Han is for the film. Are they going to jump around a lot? I mean, because the way it takes place in the cartoons, it's he's just starting to sort of have. I mean, in the comic books, he's just starting to like get a little flirty with Leia at this point. So, you know, the stories take place between like 4 and 5, and the comic takes place between 4 and 5. So like, it's the time frame between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and then this whole side story happens with Sana. So, who knows? It's interesting to see. I can't wait to hear who the actress cast is, and will they release a name to us, or will it be something that we're going to have to wait until we're a lot closer to the film, which is what I speculate will be. They want to leave us guessing. They like to do that to us. But yeah, it's interesting to note that they did take Saw Gerrera from the Clone Wars animated series, so it's quite possible that they could take a character from the comics. Why not? They could take a character from there. They could take a character from the books. There's another female character who's in some of the books, which time period would be different. She would have to be more towards the Force Awakens time period, but I can see her coming into maybe Episode 8. We'll see how these things go. Speaking of Episode 8, it seems that John Williams will be starting to score Episode 8 like this week. So it appears that Episode 8 is a lot further along than we thought it was, because they only just wrapped filming a couple of weeks ago. And it appears like now they're already scoring it, so like how far have they come along? I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of visual effects that have to be added to the film. Which, you know, doesn't come out for a year and a half, you know, a year and 4 months. So, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're not going to change the release date. They're in a nice, sweet spot with their December releases for Star Wars films. If anything, maybe we'll start getting a saga film in December. If they're going to be adding all these Star Wars stories, these anthology stories, we may get maybe a May release for an anthology story, and then December release for the saga story. It depends on how often they're going to be, how big they want to fill the calendar of Star Wars films. They've said that Star Wars films are going to come out for the foreseeable future, you know, until basically people don't want Star Wars anymore, which, if they don't fuck it up, I don't see that happening. Okay, moving on. The Arrival trailer dropped earlier today. I did a reaction video. You can find it on the channel. And I think it looks really, really cool. I mean, yeah, go check out the reaction trailer. You can watch it with me. But yeah, I like, it's got elements of like, if you don't know what The Arrival is, which it's not actually called The Arrival, not to be mistaken with that Charlie Sheen movie. It's called Arrival. It's this film coming out with Amy Adams. Forrest Whitaker is also in this film, and Jeremy Renner. And it is directed by the director who did Prisoners, which was fantastic. And it looks to be, it's an alien invasion film. It's a sci-fi story. And the way that it looks to be like sort of like a thinking person sci-fi movie, a thinking person's alien invasion film, rather than a big tent-pole blockbuster like Independence Day or something like that. This seems to be like, it's got little elements of like the Twilight Zone and like a little elements of like the Abyss in the trailer. 2001. I mean, the way you see the craft, the UFO sort of land or come down, it sort of has that monolith look sort of to it. It's reminiscent. It's got that. It's it's got a little Twilight Zone to it. It definitely seems as though they're setting this to be a movie they're setting it up as in a way that it's like they're invading us, and it's really up to how we react to them to what is going to happen next. Sort of like the original The Day the Earth Stood Still, the 1951 Robert Wise. If you've not seen that, and you've seen the Keanu Reeves, I smoke a lot of drugs and erase that from your memory, and go see the 1951 The Day the Earth Stood Still. If you can find it showing in a theater, which sometimes they do show them in old theaters, go see that, because I've done that, and it's quite an experience. It still holds up. It's a great commentary on it's a great mirror of the human condition, if you will. And I hope that's where this is going. It looks to be that way. The way the trailers look, they're taking an intellectual approach, and I like that. I like smart sci-fi. So I'm very interested for this. I'm very excited for this movie. I really want to see it. I can't wait to see this. I think this has a lot of promise. It looks very fascinating. So yeah, check that out. Check out my reaction to that on the channel. Check out the trailer itself, and let me know what you think. Also, in other news, yesterday I believe it was, Henry Cavill, otherwise known as the Man of Steel himself, Superman, Instagrammed a photo teasing what looks to be the black Superman suit, which is from, it's from the iconic story, The Death of Superman. When he comes back in the black suit, and he has the mullet and the beard and everything else. And since it looks, since Zack Snyder did The Death of Superman by Doomsday, which is how it appears in the 1993 comic, in Batman vs. Superman, it looks like we're going to get that rebirth story. And the way that Superman comes back is because he's got the Codex embedded in him, which is essentially all the technology of, he is Krypton. He's essentially got all the technology and embedded in his body, which is I suppose how they're going to do his rebirth and handle it in the film to sort of explain it more rationally, because this is what they like to do this in comic book movies, is explain things to you. This is how it could happen, rather than let you suspend belief yourself. But anyway, it's very interesting that they're going there. I hope Justice League, I hope it's good. I mean, the footage we saw, that sizzle reel that was put together for Comic-Con, looks like they're sort of steadying the ship, and I hope that's the case. And it looks like they're tackling the return of Superman in the Justice League, which is excuse me, I'm still sick, which is one of the things that I worried about for Batman vs. Superman, is because, okay, they've killed Superman. Now they're going to have to take all this time in the Justice League to explain him coming back, which, how the hell are they going to do that? Because it's going to take all this time. Now, we're going to have it split up into 2 movies. Now, they've said that they're actively working on production of Man of Steel 2. Is he not going to be in Justice League Part 1? And then they put out Man of Steel 2, whatever it's going to be called, bring him back, and then he shows up in Justice League 2. It's going to be interesting to see. They're scrambling all over at DC, and I'm hoping that they get this right. Hope they steady the ship and we can be on this journey, because I love these characters and I want to see them done right. I want to see justice done to them. Batman is like one of my favorite superheroes of all time, because he's just a fucked up guy with a lot of money. And, it's unfortunate for the DC universe that Christopher Nolan told his Batman story and it had a definite beginning, middle, and an end. So the DC extended universe could not expand on that Christopher Nolan Batman. So they had to come up with their new Batman. And there was speculation that they were going to bring Christian Bale back into the DCEU. I remember that being kicked around when Batman vs. Superman was first announced, but it didn't happen, and we have this new Batman who's inspired very much by the Frank Miller Batman. And this is where we're going. So we have to, I guess, hold on, and it's a bumpy ride right now, but let's hope we get smooth waters up ahead Like I said, I have a lot of faith in Wonder Woman, and I definitely have a lot of respect for what Patty Jenkins said in response to the rumors that Wonder Woman was a mess. But then we've heard these things before from Zack Snyder, and we heard these things from David Ayers. But, it is what it is. Patty Jenkins seems like she's pretty tough, and I don't think she's full of shit. She seemed pretty passionate in her multiple Twitter responses to these rumors. So yeah, so let's hope this comes out good. It's going to be interesting to see. Now if he's going to have the black suit, are they going to give him the mullet and the beard? There was a meme that had gone around. Somebody had photoshopped a photo of Henry Cavill in the black suit with the mullet and the beard, and I hope they do give it to him. I really do. I hope they at least, if not the mullet, I hope they give him long hair for his return and give him the beard, give him that rough rebirth look. Give him that. Come on, if you're gonna do it, go all the way. I want to see. Give us the mullet. Hashtag we want the mullet. So anyway, that ends that topic. Let's talk about Sausage Party. Sausage Party, which is actually killing it at the box office. It's number 2. It surpassed Pete's Dragon, surprisingly, by quite a bit, and considering it cost $19 million to make Sausage Party, and it's already, I think, at $33 million, is pretty impressive. So it's already made its money back, and the promotion did not cost much. So, of course, Seth Rogen has come out to say that there will be a sequel, and that he actually changed the original ending of the film, which a lot of people got to see that original ending if they were at South by Southwest. They changed the ending so that way that they could continue the universe, and the idea is kicking around, and as he put it, he would like to take this universe into the real world in the vein of, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so this food could cross over into our world, which I think is really interesting. He wants to keep it R-rated, and he wants to keep it going as it is. I've not seen the film yet. I will be seeing it, and I'll post a review and all that stuff. I am excited to see it. I think it looks hysterical. I've been pretty excited about that film for many, many months, since like the beginning of this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think that's a great idea to move it into the. Well, I mean, why not? It's ridiculous. Just keep it going. Go really crazy with it. Why not? The last time an R-rated animated film did so well was Team America, and there was never really a follow-up to that. So I say make this a franchise. Why not? Why not? Why not make it a franchise? If it's as funny as it looks, and it's doing very well at the box office, people would like to see this. I'm a huge proponent of adult animated stuff. I think it's great. So yeah, go for it. Go for it, Seth. You have my blessing. And I love the assemblage, the cast of characters he always works with. I love them. That looks like a bunch of cool guys to hang out with, So, keep it coming, man. Keep it coming, Seth. I'm a fan. I'll take whatever you got. So, yeah, that's going to go. Well, before I end that, I mentioned that the price tag on Sausage Party was $19 million. There's been a lot of rumors and controversy surrounding the film, which I don't know if a lot of people know about, as far as the reason that the cost was so low is that the animators were being overworked, and they were threatening to fire a bunch of them, that there was a walkout, and that they had removed some of the animators' names from the credits and stuff. And, this is all rumors. This is all... There's no names given to any of these rumors. Nobody's come forward and said, this really happened to me. I'm hoping that it is just rumors, and if it's not, they gotta clean this up quick, because they cannot have the grime of controversy on the project if they plan on moving forward as a franchise. So I hope that they clear that up if it's actually a thing. If it's not, and it's just rumors, rumors are rumors. This is the movie world, so we know how that goes. So yeah, animators work very, very hard. I took film in school, and I took animation, and animators work very, very hard, and treat them right. Be good to them. Treat them right. Put their names in the credits if they worked on the film. That's just ridiculous that you wouldn't do that. So that's that. that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks for stopping by. I do want to note, though, that today I'm in a band called Autodrone. We're a shoegaze band, Autodrone, one word. And today, our friends in the band The Dossier, they released a remix of one of our songs called High Dying Sun, and that dropped for free today on SoundCloud. So I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. Make sure you click like, subscribe, and share. Share me around, pimp me out. Come on, people, pour me out. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Terry the Loon. Yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming to the Terry Taylor Show. Yeah, I guess that's all. I guess that's all I got to say today. So yeah. Oh, make sure you comment in the bottom. Let me know what you think about these things. Yeah, do that. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Click like, subscribe, share. Do it.